lovely creative people. Matthew here with GearSounds, and today we're going to learn some tips and tricks that I use on the GM800 to customize my sounds. And if you like the tones that I use on my live streams on my music channel or here on the channel on GearSounds, you're going to love this episode because we're going to dive deep into the menus. And I mean on the pedal itself. We're not going to use the computer. That's not my thing. I need to be able to do this at a show if I'm feeling inspired. I need to know how to do it in somebody else's studio if I'm feeling inspired when I don't have access to a computer. That's the whole purpose of pedals, is so we don't need a computer. So let's learn our pedal. And the first thing to know is these 4 voicings right here. So when I have just one of them on, you'll see one of them lit up. When I press this twice, it turns it on. When I press it twice, or when I press it again, it turns off. And that's how I go to those patches. So let's turn off number 1 and go to number 2. And let's listen to number 2. We'll tap number 2. Right now it's showing me number 1 still, and it's saying off. You can see there's 4 little numbers at the top here. They're very small, and it'll be lit up which one you're selected. So you have to click the button again to go to number 2, and this says on. If I press this once, it goes to that, but it doesn't turn it on. There's number 4. And then there's a rhythm section, which we're not going to use because it's just drums, which I don't like to have activating right at the same time as I'm playing notes. If that's your thing, that's not going to be covered in this episode. But it's here in the rhythm section if you want it. You can press the R and then do everything I'm going to teach you in today's episode. So let's listen to this. So we can add that on the previous tone by double tapping number 1. We can add a third voice. And a fourth voice. Just like that. Now, what if I just want to isolate any one of those voices? Well, turn the other ones off, right? So let's turn these off. Go to number 4. Let's listen to that. Those. See, here's the thing. Now it's showing me number 3. You got to be careful. Look how it says off right there. So we're not even looking at the one I want to be. So let's tap that. French horn, number 4. That's the one I want to be looking at. So you see how we have all of these menus here. I'm currently in the other section. To get between the we'll call them the main tabs. We could just call them tabs. You can think of them like your browser tabs. And then this is like your website information here. So tone select is the most important because that's where you actually select which tone you're going to use on this particular voice. You can have 4 different voices, and there's 1,200 or something tones in the pedal. So when I click the browse button, you see we have a category on the left and a tone number on the right. The French horn is under the ensemble brass section. So let's go to something like a flute instead. Right there you can see flute vibrato on the right side. These 2 knobs will control the browse, or the category, excuse me. These 2 knobs will control the actual tone number within the category. So this is like a sub-menu of a sub-menu of a sub-menu. Okay, so I like this flute, and I want to change it. I want to mess around with it. How do we do that? Well, firstly, I got to get out of this browse menu. So we're going to hit exit. So now you can see I'm back on the main page that we're used to. So you can see it says 167. That's the voice number out of 1,200 that I'm currently using on number 4. I can tell I'm on number 4 because the 4 at the top left is highlighted. I can tell this voice is on because it says on, and this white light is on the number 4 section here. And so I have a bunch of tabs to go through today, and we are going to go through every single portion of this pedal. Why not? These are the tips and tricks that I never really got into because at the time I made, how to create a patch video, I didn't know how to do all of the stuff I know how to do now. And so that's the browse menu, right? That's how you select a tone. That's how you want to select a tone. You have the categories here, and then the tone numbers on the right. And we selected just the first flute to mess around with today. Let's go to exit. And so this bottom section here has browse, tone number, part level, pan center. And these 4 knobs are going to control those 4 parameters. When I hit the page button, I'm going to cycle through 2 additional pages of parameters for the tone select tab. When I go to the tone modify section, by scrolling over with the main select knob at the top right, you can see we have different options and even more pages. See those dots at the bottom right there? That's the indicator for how many pages we have. So this one we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pages. Here's the effects section, right? Here's the string section. This controls individual strings. And then here's the other section. This is kind of what I really wanted to get into today. The other section kind of has it all. The other section has some of the, in my opinion, some of the most important stuff of the pedal. And it's really not talked about a lot, at least from the demos that I've seen. So when we have this set to Chromatic type 1, now I'm going to go into the other tabs as well, because, why not? But remember, this is scrolling through the tabs, and then these knobs at the bottom mess with the functions within the tab, and then the page gives you additional functions for these knobs on other pages. So there's your menus, and there's the layers and how they work out. So in the other section, you have mono and poly, and that's just going to allow you to isolate a single string if you want to. So let's say I wanted to play arpeggios like this. So it's only going to play one string at a time, and so that's a great way to do that. What if I switch it to poly? How's that going to sound? That's cool if you want that too, right? But it's good to know what this does. And if you're going to be using this for a solo or a lead tone, you've got to have it on mono because it's great technology, but it's still limited, and that'll help you from getting string noise from other strings. So when I have it on mono, I can solo much easier without getting any wrong notes, simply because of the fact that it's on mono. So I'm going to set this to poly for now, and I want you to listen to me soloing in poly. Hear those glitches? Those glitches are coming from poly because it's trying to listen to 6 signals all at once. Once it gets a competing signal from another string, rather than ignore it because it's not loud enough to cross the threshold, it's going to actually allow that to come through, even if you didn't play it and your hand just rubbed against the string. So to get the best tone from this, you need to make sure your strings are quiet. Quiet your springs in your guitar. Put foam behind the nut in front of the tuners so that there's no noise that the guitar creates that is not a note, because that's going to confuse the synth. The more clean of a note you send into the synth, first of all, the better it's going to sound anyways, but the more clear it's going to be for the processing power of the synth. It's going to allow it to process it, let's say, more properly, in a more accurate way. Okay, so now that you understand that, I'm going to actually set this to mono for today because I'm going to use this as a lead tone. And if you want to use the same tone for lead and rhythm, you can either set up one of the control switches to switch between mono and poly, or you can just switch between two patches where one is mono and one is poly. And I would recommend you do that for leads and not use a poly tone for leads, because again, you heard those errors and how they come in. You can definitely reduce them by setting it up the way that I taught you guys and how I mentioned earlier with the foam in certain places. But still, mono for solos, poly for chords, and mono is also great for this stuff. I actually have to go pretty slow to get the notes to be coming out individually. I think I can afford this to be a little louder, right? Okay, now here's this biggest trick and tip of the whole video, in my opinion. This chromatic type setting right here. See how it says chromatic type 1? So what does that mean? Chromatic type 1 means it's going to lock the note to the fret. And so what that'll do is it'll actually not allow you to bend. Listen. I'm bending right there, but instead of sounding like a guitar bend or like a synthesizer bend, it's just it's quantizing and automatically locking each pitch to an actual note. Kind of like auto-tune for a singer, right? So it sounds like almost like a keyboard going do. Each note is an actual note. There's no in between. And for that reason, we switch this chromatic type to not type 1, not type 2, not type 3, but off. Switch it to the left, and we get this now. So there you go. Now that's how you bend your synthesizer. And to me, already our tone is better because we can use it like a guitar and we can do weird stuff with it that a flute can't do. And if you're a purist, sure, don't do it this way. You don't have to. But I find it to be fun. This is going to be a good tone. By the time I'm done this, we're going to save this on a separate patch because I like this. And just jumping around in the pedal, you're gonna find stuff like this too that you like. But this is the setting I recommend you come to first. It's so weird that it's in the others. It's so important to me. But then again, I'm kind of wrecking these tones because listen, you are losing some fidelity in the tone. Listen. So with type 1, we got here number 2, how it's kind of warbly and like that's the computer processor. Sound like an old man. That's the unit attempting to distinguish which note it is. And when the chromatic is off, it has to do a lot more work because it can't just lock it to a tone. It's got to actually translate whatever real pitch the guitar is giving, even if it's not an actual tone that's stored in the device, one of the 12 notes, right? So I'm not sure how much information is in there, probably about 100 pieces of information, I would imagine, just like MIDI. So there's the vibrato, right? So that's a big one for me, chromatic off. So hold type, this I don't use, but this. I think this is for a switch. Yeah, I believe that's for a switch. Legato switch. Yeah, that's not one that I use either. Mainly, this is what I wanted to talk about, but there's other effects that we can put on that I really want to get to. The other section, let's go through the rest of it. Oh, here's another important one. Portamento. So portamento, this is a blending, like a glide on a synthesizer between your notes. This is a huge one. I'm very glad I went through this to the next page. My instinct told me, go to the next page, and here we are. So what is portamento? Imagine when I go from point A to point B, I'm instantly there, right? Because I'm teleporting my finger. What if I slide? When I slide, I hear the notes on my way there. But what if when I slid, instead of hearing the note that I landed at instantly, I heard the slide slower? That's essentially what portamento is going to do. So when I turn this on, you can hear that doom. It kind of goes up, and then I can do portatype time. And then I can adjust the time. That's kind of ridiculous, right? That's adjusting at 60. Let's go back to like 20. So do you see how that's kind of blending the notes there? And it's actually kind of pleasant because it almost makes it sound a little bit more realistic too. Now that's a little too slow, so we can bring the time down. Let's try 12. You can really test it by hitting the lowest note on the guitar, followed by the highest note. Oh, I guess it's per string, isn't it? So yeah, there you go. There's portamento. And those are the two main settings that I wanted to cover today. And now that we're at 20 minutes, I feel like that's a video. But let's keep going. Let's keep exploring. Drop a like on the live stream if you guys are enjoying it. Subscribe if you love it. It's free. 94% of you guys are not subscribed that watch these videos. I hear a lot of YouTube people talk about that, and I get annoyed. But then I went to look at my percentage, and I was like, hey, wait a second. They always say, like, 60% of you guys are not subscribed. And I'm like, shut up. And I look at my data, 94%. Do you guys not know how to hit the subscribe button, or am I just ugly? Either way, I'm not showing my face anymore, so that should help you. Velocity sensitivity. Just turn this all the way up. Velocity sensitivity all the way down. you see how we took a lot of the top end off of that tone right there? The velocity sensitivity can do that. It's basically not triggering the tone enough. And then the bend range, interesting. 24. Bend range 0. That doesn't stop me from bending it. So some of these, like that one, I don't use. The voice, I'm not sure what the voice rev is. Voice assign limit. Full. Not sure what that one is either. Pretty tough when you can hear 0 difference between the two different settings. But here's where you definitely will hear a difference. So those were the settings I wanted to get to, guys. The portamento is super important. The chromatic switch is super important. The mono poly switch, super important. And they're all in the others tab, guys. Don't forget. Select switch to get to the others tab after you hit your part. Okay, so in the effects section, you can see follow tone effects. Turned on, switches turned on. C and D send, and then reverb send. I have the reverb at maximum. If I turn this down, you can hear. Oh, I have to turn this off. Oh, that was the delay, right? Okay. So I'm not sure what else we have on here. Let's see, category delay. You can see the intensity. All the other functions of the delay are deeper in here. And then the effect type right here. So this is like a different type of delay, a slicer, looper. So you could use a looper in here. I've never used the looper in here. Lo-fi compressor. Bit crusher. Phonograph. Pitch shifter. 2 voice pitch shifter. Overdrive into chorus. Overdrive into flanger. Overdrive into delay. Distortion into chorus. Distortion into flanger. Distortion into delay. Overdrive / distortion into touch wah. Oh. And of course, all of these can be changed and adjusted. So I'm in category combination right here, but as I continue to scroll, overdrive into flanger, overdrive into delay. So you don't have full customization like, let's say VG-800, right, where you can move pedals around and stuff like that. You basically have a set number of choices of like effects pairs. Here's the cool thing though. Each voice can have its own setup. So if you wanted to get wacky and crazy, you technically could, and the pedal can handle it, which is great. That's pretty cool. That's overdrive into delay. Distortion into chorus. That sounds really cool. And then that with some reverb on it would sound nice. That's very, very strange. Distortion into flanger. Distortion into delay. I feel like we heard some of these. Yeah, we did already. Oh, here, GT into chorus. What is GT? Gate? If you guys are just joining, welcome to the live stream. Double tap your screen if you're watching on mobile. Drop a like if you're watching on desktop. And definitely subscribe if you haven't already. We are diving deep into the menus of the GM800 guitar synthesizer. And what a beauty she is. EP into tremolo. See, what is EP? I don't even know what EP is. EP into chorus. EP into flanger. EP into phaser. Let's go back to the tone. Before we listen to the rest of the effects, let's change the tone here from something to something a little more substantial. Scat. I remember hearing this in the GR55 like 10 years ago and just dying. Me and my friends just, you know, smoking a fatty and dying laughing at this tone. You know, I don't normally play anything like this, but it just sounds so ridiculous. I wonder if the what's it called? We'll get that. That's nice. See, some of these have effects built in, so let's use that one. Exit. Scroll back to effects. All right, where were we? Two-tap Pandley. So that's what's attached to this one. You can see as I change to the tone will have its effects that are already there attached to it, so you can change them, and that's what we're doing. So we're going to just do a little bit of scrolling here. Don't mind if I do. I think we already did this distortion. All right, what else we got here? Oh, this is the chorus going into stuff. Okay, this is cool. Oh, enhancer. Oh, enhancer into chorus. Listen to this. Think I found something I like. It's a bright enhancer plus this chorus on my mind. Think I found something I like. Listen to that. That's a great tone, right? I like that a lot. Okay. What else? Enhance plus flanger. I was never a flanger guy. I'm still not. Enhancer plus delay. Oh, that's the one for this patch. At least that's what I want to save for myself. Now, I don't think I never did an all sound or an all effects video for the GM800. We got to do that next week. People have been asking me a lot of questions about this pedal lately because of the fact that the VG800 just came out. Shows that Boss is committed to the new GK5 platform, and I think that's giving people some pause, some reason to look into it, and I don't blame them. Feel free to drop in the live chat, guys. Don't be shy. I see people watching. Feel free to ask any questions about this as we go to here in the live chat, because no better time than on the live show than to ask a question, because I'll be able to answer it right here and demonstrate it right now on the pedal. Chorus into delay instead of enhancer into delay. So this is cool. You got all the combinations. I do wish they would have a little bit better of an interface, though, rather than squeezing everything down here. Like, once I'm in the effects section, just let this take up my whole screen, you know? Just let me dive into the submenu. Anyways. Oh my gosh. Chorus into delay might even be better than the enhancer into delay. Ooh, that's so, and then let's go to the pages over, and we can do the chorus rate and depth. Oh, yes. Let's do like a deeper chorus. Yes. This is how you adjust pedals, guys. You find, and as you learn your pedal, you'll know better, but you find something you know you're going to like. I already know a deeper chorus sound I'm going to love because it's lush and it's swirling. And for the beginners out there that don't know what chorus is, it's just, imagine a second guitar player is playing exactly what you play, but slightly lower tuned. And you'd think that sounds like it would be bad. No, but you combine it together, it's nice. And imagine that guy was in tune and then slowly came up to you to be in tune with you, and then back away, and then back and forth, and like a nice warble, right? And we can adjust the rate of that here. Ooh, that's a little too fast. 1.5. That's so good. That is so good. I'm actually, really enjoying the chorus editing. I don't think I've edited the chorus at all on this pedal. Oh yeah, I like that a lot. Maybe 0.75 will be the sweet spot, because it started at 0.5. Let's go to 0.75. Yeah, that's nice. I like that. We're going to keep that. Okay. So then we can adjust the delay now too. That's what I wanted to. Delay time feedback. Instead of 600 milliseconds, let's do 800. Nice little 800 milliseconds there. Okay, and then the feedback, let's do a nice 30%. Oh, that's beautiful. Okay, so there's the effects. And again, we're just paging through everything to get to the different things. You're going to read it and be like, oh, okay, I know what that does. Level. I know what the effect level does. Right? Delay balance. D90 equals 10 watts. What? Oh, dry and wet balance. I see. That's really confusing. It says D90 10W. Like, it's not even the same format. It should be like, it should just say wet dry. There's room for that. But yeah, let's do 100% wet just for fun. 100% wet reverb. Oh no, it's just a 100% wet delay. Oh, that's right. I forgot we're on delay. 50-50. Yes. Oh, 50-50 sounds cool. I like that. But a little wacky. So we're going to bring it back to home base. So we didn't really talk about the tone modify section. The tone modify section allows you to like basically create fake chorus by moving. The chorus tune is going to be, you'll hear, listen to this. I'm hitting the A string right now, and I'm not hitting anything else. Watch this. You can make experimental music or just wiggle the knob. Tell your friend that his experimental band needs this. Okay, anyways, let me stop messing around. And then the fine tune, that's going to, okay, so everything I was doing was 1 fret, right? So when I hit -1, that's 1 fret, 2 frets, and this is the coarse tune function, right? Now the fine tune is in between frets. So if you're one of those 432 hertz guys, you can just take the fine tune and then take this down 32%. And then there you go. You got your 432 hertz. And then what's really cool, octave shift goes a whole octave right there. My headphones can't produce that sound. I don't know if it's even going to go through the live stream, but if you have a system that can produce the that low of a sound, you'll hear it. It just sounds like crackling to me. What's this cutoff here? Oh, we got a cutoff filter. That's cool. So that's a high pass filter cutoff. You can attach an expression pedal to set the cutoff. I did that at a show right when I first got this back in the day. That's a very useful function of an expression pedal attached to the unit, is the cutoff switch, right? But I would actually like it to be maybe 20, so I'm going to turn it up to like 20. Oh, it's at 60. That's too high. Too much treble. No. I must not. Oh, we have way too much delay going on. Let's go back to the MFX section. Let's scroll over. Send that delay right over. Bring the feedback back. A little too much feedback there. Let's turn the effect level down to like 60. You know what? Maybe that is too long of a delay. Maybe they had the right idea at 600. mean, truthfully, I like a reverb. We were still exploring all of these effects too. That's another episode, really going deep into all of the effects. Flanger delay, chorus flanger, JD multi. What the heck is this? Ooh, is that clipping? That looks really loud. Sorry. Let me turn this down here. What is this? Sequence. DS. Oh, distortion. Phaser. Splicer. Something else. Ooh, that's cool. Dang, that's so much fuzz and distortion. It almost sounds like a guitar. That's how you sculpt a custom synth tone. That is awesome. That's got some personality. Little chaotic though, right? What else we got? Wow, these are interesting. Distortion switch off. So you can have this multi set up here with all these pedals, but just have no distortion. That's a very cool option. There's so many sequences. That's so cool. That customizability actually is great. So category says combination. That was the last category. Pitch. So let's see all the categories of effects we have here. Filter, phaser, flanger, chorus, modulation, drive, amp, compressor and limiter, delay, looper, lo-fi, pitch, combination. It's interesting there's combination but no reverb by itself. How did I see reverb? I know I saw reverb. I think maybe it was just on the combination then. In this section here, let's take a look. No, you know what? I must have seen the reverb somewhere else. Because I know I put a bunch of reverb on a lot of these. Would be insane to not have reverb. All the delays though, wow. Mod delay. Maybe that's all it's been. Maybe it's just been delay on the whole time. Yeah, that's going to have to be its own episode. So let's go through the rest. It looks like we've already touched on everything. Say in the tone modify section, here's a big important section as well. Page 2 of the tone modify section. So tone modify with the select knob. Page 2 over. We've got resonance, attack, decay, and release. Synthesizer guys, you know what that is. Vibration rate and vibration delay. No, that's not what that is. That's not vibration. I don't know what that is. Okay, so attack and decay. This is huge. Huge. Attack 63 is too slow. Let's do 20. That sounds cool. Let's go a little slow, a little faster. 15. Decay 20. A little slower on the decay at 50. What's negative decay gonna do for us? Ah, that's cool. It's just swiping it up. I like that. Max decay. Max release. Ah, too much release. That's what she said. 20. Hey, welcome in, Keith Lane. Stylophone, eat your heart out for cheesy sounds. Hey, Keith, don't make fun of this thing, okay? We're doing cheesy sounds now. In fact, let me save this cheesy sound. Because I want it. Even if you think it's hilarious and stupid, I want it. We'll save it right there on 141. There we go. Yeah, that's fine. I'm fine with that. Executing. And I want to show you something that doesn't sound cheesy, just so you don't think that this is just a cheesy pedal by itself. It's not a cheesy pedal, okay, guys? I'm a huge believer in this pedal. Here's why. That's good, right? Come on. Yeah, no, it's not that intimidating, V-Dog. I actually showed you how to use this pedal today in this video, in this live stream, completely in depth. If you want to start from scratch, you can start this video over from the beginning, and you will get a very good understanding of how to do most anything that you want to do. I promise you. I've been using it for more than a year now. Or almost a year. I think it's just about a year this thing's been out. And it's not intimidating. It's just like every other Boss product. It's submenu on top of submenu on top of submenu. And it's the same design language as always. These knobs adjust functions that you see on screen. And then you have a master select knob with function buttons that navigate through, you know, submenus, etc. You know, with the traditional little... I mean, again, it's not that intimidating. In defense of what it is, you got to understand, with this technology, you need some way to adjust everything, and I'm happy with it. So this definitely doesn't sound like a Casio. I think that's like a Spider-Man theme. You guys recognize that from like the old Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies? There's a hero in all of us. Aunt May! Mary Jane! Spider-Man! Okay, anyways. That's just me proving it's not a Casio keyboard, so... Where were we? When you click this select knob down into the unit itself, you can turn it faster. And so I can go through many more patches this way. You can see I very lazily named patches. Ziano Symphony. This is my version of that patch. Because I think this one I can bend. No. Welcome in, Elijah. Thank you guys for dropping a like on the stream on your way in. So, where were we? Yes, that's right. So, we're going to hit this part button. And we hadn't talked yet about the string section. So, we can just mute the tiniest E string, turn it into a 5-string guitar. We can change the level of each string, and we can change the panning of each string. That's it. So I can take the tiny E string, let's put it all the way on the left, and then let's take the B string. That's going to be string, I got to go page over to the right. Let's take string level 2, string pan number 2, and let's pan that all the way to the right. So now we got that in your left ear, and now we got this. That's in your right ear. And when we play them together, we get a little bit of... That's a cool trick if you want to, maybe do something like that or this. See how that voice is moving around? Because I'm changing string, so you can... And of course, you don't have to do 100% pan the way that I did. You can kind of blend it a little bit, right? But that's just an example. I've used that once or twice. It's fun. Although I tend to use it on the lower strings. That's more fun for me. But yeah, that's what the string section does. And then back to the tone modify. We were on page 2, release, and page 3 doesn't do anything but to my ears. These are all EQs too on tone modify. That's a little boring. I prefer to alter the EQ in a stronger way, like with the cutoff. I like that. Because that's adjusting a lot more frequencies. Yeah, this is a custom tone that we've been shaping here on the live stream. And because we set it up this way, you guys, we can bend this. Don't forget. Oops, what's that little glitch there? The technology's not perfect. And neither am I. That could have been me too. So I don't like how much that is, it's how long that's taking. The attack is a little too long, so let's bring that down. So instant attack, 10 is better than 15. For the decay, let's bring that down. Release, let's bring that up a little bit. For the synthesizer uninitiated, the release is going to act like a sustain pedal on a piano, or like a room reverb. Well, not really. It's like the world's driest reverb or delay. It like leaves a trail of your note. But more than just the note, it contains the full frequency character, full texture. Yeah, it just kind of lives there. I love having a release function in the pedal because I can make tones like that. Oh, it's such a great time to be alive. It is a beautiful time to be alive. And the resonance. That gives you the meow, meow, and can take the resonance down for a more warm tone. Now, I'm not that much of a synthesizer guy in terms of, outside of guitar, so I'm not that educated on how all of these things function. I just know what they do to the sound. But I mean scientifically function. In terms of frequency, I can definitely hear where we're hitting it. And if you guys have headphones on like I do, you're going to hear how nice this sounds. What if we do like a little bit of, what is it called? Let's go back to the effect, and then I want to switch it to, oh, there's the reverb send. So watch. There's the reverb right there. That's where I saw it. It's on page 1. Duh. Okay, so delay category. Is there? There we go. That's the stereo delay I wanted. So let's take that resonance back down. Or back up, I should say. Back closer to where it was. And then I want the attack to be faster again. Back to 0. And then we'll take the release down so that the notes disappear faster. So if we wanted to add a second part to this, I can just hit this button here. Boom, we got soft strings added now. Add part 2. Now we got dulce strings. Now, part 1. That's a very full synth sound, and definitely unlike a Casio. Okay, Keith. If you guys showed up to the stream and you heard this tone right here, just by itself, is no way on earth you would know that was a guitar. There's no way. It's the highest form of guitar synthesizer on the planet, and I'm not sponsored by Roland. They didn't pay me to say that. They're too big of a company to care about a tiny little channel like mine. I just really love the technology, and I'm a huge fan. Okay, that's a full in-depth tutorial on this pedal, you guys. And I might even rename this video just full tutorial. I hope you guys enjoyed this very long 1-hour live stream. I was just going to jump in for 10 minutes, and I ended up going through a full tutorial of this pedal. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Drop a like and subscribe if I taught you anything at all, because that's free. And I have donation links in the description now, since I'm not really making any money on the channel. And I would love your help to buy some new pedals. Otherwise, we're going to be playing with the pedals we got for some time. Thank you guys for joining in. Thank you for your support, both with the likes and subscriptions, doing all the YouTube stuff, notification bell, and all that stuff. And thank you for your cash tips. Oh, and don't forget, I have affiliate links for all the equipment that I'm using today in the description. It doesn't cost you a penny extra. You can shop around on Amazon. Even if you don't buy the exact pedal, your toilet paper purchases for the next 2 days will give me a solid 1%. So anything you buy. And it won't cost you anything extra. Thank you guys so much again for the support, and I will see you guys in next Sunday morning's live stream. Bye-bye for now.